So, Studio Wildcard have officially just released the biggest update so far of 2026 for ARK Survival Ascended. And when I say that these patch notes are big, they are big. This is just page number 1. So, sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, grab a drink, and we're going to read through everything that's changed with this new update. Let me know how big the update is for you and on whatever platform you're on as well. Be interesting to see if they're different on any of the other platforms. There is a lot of Lost Colony fixes. I know Lost Colony has literally been a broken DLC ever since it launched, and there is obviously a bunch of other things too. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. No, this is not the Unreal Engine 5.7 update, but apparently either tonight's Community Crunch or next week's Community Crunch is going to be the news on when Unreal Engine 5.7 is coming. So in tonight's video, when I do the crunch, you'll see it then. Let's jump in with the patch notes and let's do this. Of course, if you're looking for somewhere to play ARK Survival Ascended completely free with every single map and an amazing community, come and join us in the LoadedCrysis cluster. The link to our Discord is down below. We've got a lovely team, lovely community, and everyone will welcome you in. And yeah, so come and join us. Come join the family, especially with the launch of Gen 1 just around the corner. Also, my camera might go a bit strange because I've got nothing blocking the sun at the moment, and it is absolutely driving me crazy. Anyway. So, gameplay changes, balance and quality of life. So, on Lost Colony, ruins of the Ascendant Cavern, the Cavern of the Whispering Needle, and the Cavern of the Sapphire Cascades have had their entrances reduced in size. Note that these entrances were very open and easily accessible, particularly for larger creatures, so this change is intended to improve PvP viability and make them more defensible. Equipment traits can now be upgraded in the Mega Lab. 10 lower tier equipment traits can be combined to create one of the next tier. As a note, we've seen that lower tier traits were not particularly valuable on their own, so this change allows them to build towards something more meaningful. Added repeatable global milestones after completing all standard global milestones. These provide ongoing source of XP for players who have completed all milestone progression, and a rotating selection of higher tier milestone tasks can now be completed repeatedly. XP reward scale with player level to remain relevant at higher levels. Completing a repeatable milestone while mounted will also grant a portion of the XP to the ridden creature. The Gigadesmodus can now walk backwards. Note, as it functions as a semi-ground mount during ability use, it felt unnecessarily clumsy to control without this, so this should make handling feel much smoother. The Malwyn now has access to traversal teleport ability. Note, the Malwyn was feeling noticeably immobile compared to other creatures in its size bracket, so this should help it better keep up. The Solwyn ice bridges can now be placed near enemy structures. On PvE, ice bridges can be destroyed via the MUW to prevent griefing. Note, placement was feeling over-restrictive, especially on PvE servers with dense structure coverage, so this should open up more practical usage. Osidon taming, they've reduced the number of creatures required to roll up during taming by approximately 30%, greater reduction at lower levels. And it said, note, taming required too much setup and area cleaning beforehand, so this should make the process more approachable without removing the challenge entirely. Player characters can now perform a larger jump while stuck or sliding on an incline to help us get unstuck in certain situations. As a note, getting stuck in the terrain has long-standing frustration, so this should help resolve some of the more common cases where players get trapped. That's pretty nice. I like that. That's quite a big change. The Gloon's Charge Light can now be toggled remotely using the player clap emote, similar to other charge pets. Added boss teleporter crafted functionality to Lost Colony loose crates as an alternative way to start the boss fight. Added the option to disable custom proportions when wearing cosmetics. Tribe Tower element bonus now correctly applies during the Lost Colony boss fight. Prevented template building on platform saddles with the clipboard and hammer on official PvP servers, and unofficial server owners can toggle this in the game user settings with the prevent template on saddle equals true. General bug fixes, so fix cases where milestones could become stuck in a complete state. fixed cases where milestone cosmetics would not remain unlocked, fixed an issue causing server transfers to fail after auto-dropping incompatible items, fixed an issue causing player profile data to bloat during server transfers, reduced the client stall when loading into a Lost Colony outpost for the first time, fixed server stall when starting Lost Colony outpost missions, fixed a large performance hit when destroying heavily snapped structure networks, fixed enemies becoming stuck inside structures during the Lost Colony boss fight, fixed anti-mesh triggers in parts of Lost Colony boss arena, and fixed a specific stuck spot in the Lost Colony boss fight arena. I'm literally getting cooked. This sun is so hot and I can't do anything about it right now. Literally, this is so hot. It's the start of summer. Well, not really, but it's getting there. It's the 1st of May, right? Fix being able to possess sleeping thralls during the Lost Queen boss fight. Fixed instances where the Lost Colony outpost enemies would get stuck or fall into the mesh during missions. Fixed instances where Lost Colony outpost enemies would fail to return to the mission area. Fixed being unable to quick mount a dino after placing structures in an outpost defense mission. Fixed Lost Colony mission timers displaying incorrectly in single player. Fixed tame thralls reverting to follow behavior on server restart. Fixed possessed thralls using AI weapons when whistled to attack. Fixed Veilwinds having a difficulty pathing in water. Fixed inability to use weapons while correctly while grabbed by an Auroriax. Fixed an overspawn of Armadoggo on extinction. Fixed an issue where creatures would not die from blood loss if medical stand was on their platform. Fixed the scout not correctly consuming red element dust when deployed. Fixed losing the scout when punching while using binoculars. Fixed passengers occasionally falling into the mesh when dismounting a Grand Tortuga. Fixed players getting stuck on top of cryo-fridges when placed as flooring. Fixed structures losing collision when applying steampunk cosmetics. Fixed the Titanosaur platform saddle displaying duplicate meshes. Fixed the Rhino force landing after picking up structures inside a vacuum compartment. Fixed tech replicator not being craftable with a tech replicator. Fixed a gamepad inability to toggle FPV, TPV on the Gigodesmodus. Fixed inability to toggle tooltips from the Garage UI. Fixed gamepad input not correctly switching UI mode in the main menu. Fixed Lost Colony ceiling and ground lights casting light in the wrong direction. Fixed Lost Colony ceiling lights floating after their supporting structure is moved. Fixed respawn FX not aligning correctly with the respawn animation. Fixed some sound effects failing to play after painting your character. Updated the glider description to match its functionality as an accessory. Fixed the pheromone dart crafting only producing a single item when crafting multiple. Adjusted the HDR drop-down behavior in the UI on Steam. Fixed Club ARK sometimes appearing as a premium mod. Improved underwater visuals across all maps. Fixed Aberration Ascension cutscene being overexposed. Semi-translucent UI elements are now hidden when using AMD frame interpolation to prevent artifacts. Multiple mesh holes have been fixed on Lost Colony. Fixed trees visually respawning when leaving render range on Lost Colony client side, and added missing Lost Colony voice line when spotted by a watcher. Guys, I have been absolutely cooked and sunburned. I look my face. This is going to be a nice tan in the end, hopefully. Xbox, fixed shadow behaving incorrectly on Lost Colony. Fixed occasional player blinking issue. On the Xbox and PS5, they fixed green overlay in the Whisper Wind Crag area on Lost Colony. Fixed interactable snow VFX bursts occasionally remaining on screen. And fixed an instance that caused low FPS on Lost Colony when looking up towards the sky. That's on both Xbox and PlayStation. Just PS5, they fixed texture corruption on characters, creatures and structures, and fixed inability to delete structure templates using the clipboard and hammer. They fixed a crash that would occur when while dynamically downloading mods. That could be good if it actually works. Fixed a client crash that could occur during Scorched Earth Ascension in single player, and fixed several exploits. And we have an Astraeus patch, which is what we love to see. They added Grand Tortuga Saddle to easy and medium OSD lootable. Changes, the astral creatures can't be knocked back anymore, and they adjusted the weather changes on Astraeus. As for the fixes, they fixed that some astral creatures could be picked up by flyers, fixed dinos spawning on top of Aberration Fertile Cave, fixed some mesh holes, fixed dinos randomly dying in underwater caves, fixed pearl replication issues, and a potential fix for bees in the bee cave spawning in the mesh. Now, that is the entire patch, which has just gone live now for Ark Survival Ascended. Good luck to everyone downloading it. Let me know how big the update is in the comment section down below. And as I said, come and join us for some patch fun over in the LoadedCrysis cluster. The link to our Discord is down below. It's completely free. We've got some major changes going towards performance as well coming soon. So come and join us for fun. Really nice community. And I'll catch you in the next one.